Today I am here with Steve Faulkner, who is the owner of Faulkner's Landscaping and Nursery in Hooksett, New Hampshire, and we're talking about workers.
We are.
Why don't you begin by telling me about your business?
I own Faulkner's Landscaping and Nursery, started from scratch. Actually started my business handing out flyers on my 10-speeder mailboxes. I've been at it now for 27 years with my landscaping nursery business. There's two parts of my company. There's a nursery division and a landscape division. I take a lot of pride in what I do, work very hard, we deliver a good product. And basically why we're here today is we're talking about the labor situation, which has reached a critical situation for me for this year.
And what's going on with that? I mean, here you are, it's peak season for you, just beginning. What's happening?
I got trucks showing up for the nursery. We're unloading, trying to set everything up. I've got jobs that we're giving away. Monday, I paid my office manager on Monday to give away contracts that I have to other landscapers because I don't have any workers. Being in business for 27 years, the first 15 years I used the local labor pool. And unfortunately, landscaping business, it's a seasonal business. You only work for 9 months out of the year. It's difficult to get the same people back year after year. We had a very high turnover. After 15 years of frustration working with my local labor pool, I decided to use the H-2B guest worker program. It's not an easy program to implement. There's a huge curve there to get people here, get the right people, train them, and develop their skills. It took me my first 3 years to find my core group of men who I thought were decent enough, good work ethics, good intentions, to teach them and train them. And then it took another 3 to 4 years after that. We've got some pretty good honed skills because we're not really a maintenance company. We have a day and a half of cutting lawns, one guy. We're a landscape constructing company, so it's not just basically try and cut straight lines. We do patios, walkways, granite steps, irrigation. We did a 65-foot water feature, waterfall here in Hooksett a couple of years back. Drainage, lawns, hydro seeding. I got $600,000 in equipment that we utilize. It's a high-end, we do a lot of construction. Very difficult to get, it is a skilled labor. So I get my core group of people here, I train them. So in around 6 years of using the program, you really start to hit your stride. Then you get into a recession. The Great Recession is very difficult. Get through that. Keep my people here, retain them, utilize them, and I had a really crack team. We were like one of the best teams at any job site we go to, because I use the same men year after year. Returning guest workers. The guest workers, they come back and they help benefit the company.
But the thing is, you try to find American workers first.
Where my business sits, I've got 40,000 cars a day going by. And we had a sign out there 4 weeks, experienced landscaper wanted. I had 2 people coming through the door. One guy quit. He came and went within a week. Another guy came, he started. Yesterday was our first 80-degree day. He left at lunch, never came back. I've got 2 employees right now. Last year, I typically bring on 6, 7 workers, 6 of them are my returning workers, 1 or 2 Americans. That's all I can find.
Right.
There's just no workers. It's Pocket Pools, 3rd generation company, just down the street. They got a sign out there. They're looking for help. They can't find anybody. Every landscaper that comes into my nursery buying plants, skeleton crew, could use 3 more people. Cutting back on my another big company, Alliance Landscape. They're cutting back on the construction installation because it's more skilled labor. There's nobody to find. I talk to people in the trades. There's nobody around.
And because unemployment is super low right now, which is great, it makes it even harder for you to find workers because
2.9%. Anybody who's working is working.
Right. And do you find that you had mentioned that it's, seasonal, 9 months out of the year, a lot of people, Americans especially, need full-time permanent jobs.
They do need full-time permanent jobs, and it's kind of ironic that you say that. It's difficult in a 9-month season, business like myself to have full-time jobs. But we have worked out a nice situation here because of my returning workers, because they are trained workers, and we are very, very effective. Proficiency is the name of the game when you work with me. And I work directly out in the field. I don't sit behind the desk dictating all day. I'm out there hand in hand with my guys because I want to make sure the job gets done right. But before I had my returning workers, our income level was down. because proficiency wasn't that great. Since I've got my guys, it's a tuned, trained team that I've spoken about, I now have 4 people that are on salary here in my company, basically. 3 are definitely on salary. They get the same check every single week. I got another guy who's been with me for 10 years. Before I had my returning workers, and income for the landscaping division of the company was down, nobody was on salary, and that gentleman wasn't working in the wintertime. We're plowing snow, there's no work.
Wow.
I let him tinker on this, let him tinker on that. He gets, 2 weeks vacation, gets his 5 sick days, and in the wintertime I keep him employed. At my company, for every 2 foreign workers creates an American job. I'm at the point now that I'm giving away work. I had a 94,000, one of my other jobs here is a commercial estimator. I brought a commercial estimator on, great guy, Sandy. Talked to his wife a couple of Christmases ago. She came up and thanked me. He's semi-retired. Steve, this extra check that Sandy gets through your company is it's a godsend, Steve. He's a reverend, actually. It's a godsend. It really helps out. Anyways, get a commercial estimator. He works for me for about a year and a half before all that time being put in, before we start getting returns on the commercial estimates that we put in. So part of that return just came about a month ago. Harvey Construction for Canyon Street Apartments here in Manchester, New Hampshire. $94,000 contract. Had to give it away because I was not getting my workers. As I said earlier, I got $600,000 worth of equipment sitting there
that you can't use.
I can't use it. How many workers? And as I said, my office manager on Monday, she's calling up some landscapers, giving away, $10,000-$20,000 worth of, I told you we had a day and a half of maintenance, cutting lawn, spring cleanups, mulch jobs. I'm paying my office manager to sign my contracts to another landscaper because I don't have any workers. And that guy,
So I realize that this is basically in the hand. Your hands are tied because of Congress, is what it really is.
Right.
There was some kind of emergency legislation that they were going to put in an appropriations bill, but that hasn't moved forward. That could at least exempt returning workers.
It's really interesting. They call it the H-2B guest worker programs. They had guest workers here in the United States. I've been in Washington myself, and and some of the aides that I spoke to, trying to meet with some senators. You don't meet senators, you meet with their aides, and everybody wants to call this an immigration problem. It's not an immigration problem. First, an immigrant is a person who's a foreigner who wants to come to America and become an American.
Right.
They are guest workers. They want to come here and work. Well, everybody considers it an immigration problem. I said, whoa. They don't want to become American citizens. Basically, what we have is we don't have enough workers here to help out small businesses. So what we really have here is a small business labor problem, and it's benefited my company. In 2015, Department of Labor shut down earlier because of various reasons. But anyways, I didn't get in my men that year until July. I got 3. My income was down that year. The company suffered. We didn't grow at all. Opposite situation happens in 2016. We have the returning worker exemption, meaning that any worker who's a guest worker who has worked for 1 year within the past 3 years for the same employer is exempt from the cap, hence returning worker exemption.
Right.
The cap indicates 66,000 visas given out per year. And they came up with that, I think, 15 years ago, and it hasn't changed a bit in 15 years. And so, so it's an outdated system. The economy is growing, there is more people, there is more business. They haven't updated the system, and now from year to year, is the exemption in or is the exemption out? Had a great year in 2016, record year. Had my workers, we hit the ground running, and we quickly go into a sprint. Had a great year, brought on another salary person. We made that decision last, midsummer, so now, have another American employee. Anyways, have a great year, and it comes to the end of the year, we did well. Do I pay taxes, or do I invest in my local economy? So I invest in my local economy, about a $90,000 truck. I now have 4 trucks and 2 laborers. I mean, it's insane.
So you have capital sitting there that can't do anything.
Can't do anything. And I'm at the point now, 55 years old, I got to take me and 2 guys that have no training, no skill, giving away work, and I have to go out there and try and salvage my year. Part of me is just like, it's interesting, like, do I give up landscape and just do the nursery? If I do that, 5 American jobs disappear like that.
Yeah.
But I like landscaping, and I've been doing it 27 years. Built up a great reputation. Why do I want to give that up? No. It's a real dilemma. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep my commercial estimator on because I like Sandy. He's a good man. In hopes of getting my workers for next year. The other salary girl that I just hired her, we're going to keep her on in hopes of the situation for next year. It kind of boils down to when is government going to become the friend of small business instead of I hate to say it, the enemy. I mean, I've been to Washington once. I'm going up there again. Some people listen to it. A lot of people, they just look you blank in the face. And I don't know what to say.
Well, they can listen, but actions speak louder than words, right?
Absolutely.
And the thing is that 66,000 is such a small, not even a blip on the radar of the total number of workers in the whole country.
Right, exactly. It's there's between 4,000 and 6,000 employees use the program per year. And in 2016, there's 192,000 visas given out. This year, there's only 66,000 visas given out. So that means we have a shortfall of 130,000 workers here in the United States. I'm one of those people. I mean,
And so if they do nothing, right now you would have these workers on their way here at least, right?
On the way or here by now, correct.
So your season is typically from April to the end of October?
April 1st, we go to December.
Okay.
End of November, they'll help us set up with Christmas here because we do Christmas trees. I've got irrigation problems here in my nursery. I'm the only one who can fix the irrigation now. Hopefully things won't start dying. I got some rain this afternoon, so I lucked out. It takes a while to train people.
Right.
And the key is that they are retraining workers, and you get the same people year after year.
And they come here and they go home.
Correct.
In the meantime, they pay taxes and help boost the economy around here too, as well. Correct?
Well, I bought a $90,000 vehicle.
Right.
I got 2 trucks that need new tires on them. I think Leon was telling he's my maintenance man. I think it's like $3,000 a truck now for tires. I don't know if he told me it's 25. So the trucks sit this year. I don't use fuel. I don't use tires. There's no maintenance. My maintenance guy, we pay him a fortune to be here fixing our equipment because we run strong, we run busy. That would be cut in half. The products that we purchase and install, that's going to be cut down. There's lateral economics,
across the board.
Yeah, it gets across the board, and the tax contribution. It's really interesting. Nobody takes into account the tax contribution. I did some calculations at my own company. It's kind of interesting, and basically I looked at 015 and 016. So maybe a lot of people don't understand that an H-2B worker will pay all the same taxes as any regular American citizen. 95 to 98% of those workers will never collect any benefits from the taxes that they pay. No unemployment, no retirement, nothing.
Right.
So in 015, you have 66,000 visas being utilized. That's 015. In 016, you have 192,000 visas given out. I did the math as an average between my company on 015 to 016. And with the tax contribution in 015, it's 177 million using my company as an average. That's 015. And in 016, it's 11.2 billion tax contribution to America and American people, the government, that these workers give. They don't overstay their visas, they don't get into trouble, they come here, they help a business grow, like myself, that employs more American employees,
because
and they go back home. I shake my head. I buy a truck, everybody makes money, connected to the truck. I don't know what to say. I just shake my head. I've been doing this for 27 years. And, like I said, I used local labor for 15 years. I don't know what to say.
And, it's obvious your frustration,
I'm complacent and easygoing about it today. I'm like,
right.
I have a chip on my shoulder about the whole situation. Typically, but since we're interviewing, I'm a little bit lower key.
But I can still feel the frustration because this is not only your business, but it's your livelihood.
Sure.
You've been doing this, it's a huge part of your life. Plus, your workers, your American workers must be stressed out as well because this could affect their jobs. Is that right?
Yeah. I got a couple of people that just I'm not sure if they're murmuring, but they know the situation here.
Right.
And I got my American nursery staff. You guys have to step it up. You have to do more. We don't have enough bodies to facilitate the need here. You know, and soon it might turn into, you know, in 015 we didn't have our people, we're throwing stuff away. Like $10,000 worth of material just went to waste. We couldn't set it up. We couldn't set it up quick enough and take care of it. You know, I'd come back from landscaping jobs, and at nighttime I'd be working with lights until like 9:30, quarter 10, trying to, you know, put different products, you know, where it needs to belong to receive water, have enough room to grow and do well. Because I'm not landscaping. This year, just like, screw it, I can't do it. I'm just, you know, so I'm forfeiting landscaping jobs and staying right here, leading my two landscape laborers. I have to be with them every moment, because
they're new, right?
Every day, they're new, they don't know what's going on. I got to show them. Where my other team, they just, you know, my experienced team that comes back every single year, they just set the whole place up for me.
And they go.
And they get everything done. And I sit and I concentrate on bids, grabbing, you know, creating more work for the company, getting out there and talking to customers, doing designs, estimates. Now that's all going to the wayside, and I'm paying my office manager to give away, you know, some work that we've already got,
Right.
and I'm declining $94,000 contracts. It's insane.
So what do you hope that Congress will accomplish? Obviously, this is urgent.
It's absolutely
Something needs
urgent.
to be done now, but is there something you think they can do to
They're
get
hoping
this
to
done?
reinstate the returning worker exemption with the budget on April 28th of this year.
Okay.
I mean, the situation is dire for me. I don't know how else to say it. It's dire for me. You know, maybe I'll give up landscaping and cut my company in half. Stop expanding. I don't know. But we need Congress to realize the need of small employers. Like, you know, some people, it's an immigration problem. It's not an immigration problem. They don't want to migrate here to the United States. It's a small business labor problem, and there's a contribution to a company like myself that is an economic contribution to other businesses in the area that we do business with, and it's a huge tax benefit that people are not taking into consideration of the taxes that they pay in, and I also match and contribute to here in the United States.